Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today we are doing a unit review video. If you don't know what this is the series where you guys send me your best Genshin Impact units and I rate them on a scale of 1 to 10 to determine who has the best Genshin Impact unit. Before we get into that though, if you would like an opportunity to get your own unit reviewed, all you have to do is go to my Discord, link in the description below. There is a channel in the Discord that is titled #UnitReview. In that channel will be instructions on how you can submit your own character for review. With that all wrapped up, let's get into the video. First up here, we have an AR60 player named Sango, and they want me to review their Yai Miko. If you're AR60, you must have a pretty late game build, meaning your Yai Miko is probably pretty stacked, so I'm looking forward to this. Weapon, I'm going to say probably Kagura's very correct. You got her best in slot weapon, that's what we like to see. Artifacts, 2-piece Wanderers, 2-piece Glide, that's perfectly fine. I think 2-piece Stunning Fury is a little more optimal, but it's not by that large of a margin, so this is perfectly fine. Constellation 0, and talents are 8, 10, 10. I feel as though I should remind you of this as I tell this to everybody, even though I'm sure you probably already know this. Yai Miko's normal attack provides no value to her. However, if you want to have the quote-unquote perfect Yai Miko, then that is perfectly fine. So far, I'd say you have pretty perfect talents and a perfect weapon. Let's see these artifacts, because this is really where it's going to count. That's actually, I don't know how to feel about that, because it's a really good piece in terms of just stats alone. It rolled really evenly. Once into crit damage, once into attack, once into crit rate, once into EM. That's actually kind of a base piece when you think about it. That's a nice electro damage bonus cup. Let's see the Sans. That's again another really nice piece. Almost no wasted stats between these two artifacts besides the flat HP. Very nice. Another really good piece. Wow, you have EM on 3 different pieces. That's really good for Yai Miko. Plus you get the extra 80 from Wanderer's Troop. That's really nice. Another damn good piece with 14% crit rate. Damn, dude. And the HP roll is a little unfortunate, but other than that, not too bad. And then another really good piece. Wow. Crit rate, Elemental Mastery, Attack. The nicest thing about this build is the minimal amount of wasted stats that you have on these pieces. There's only like a couple here and there wasted stats, but all around, almost every single stat on these pieces matter, and the crit rolls are pretty high. So overall, I'd say your artifacts are very, very high tier. Let's see the split. 69, 242. Bro, that might as well just be 70, 240. That's crazy. No, not one energy recharge roll. You didn't have one ER roll on your whole build. That's probably fine. I'm not a Yai Miko expert. I don't remember her talent cost, but I'm sure if you have the correct supports, it cannot be that hard to get up her burst. And then you have like a crisp 199 EM. Yeah, this is a very, very high tier Yai Miko. I'm going to say this Yai Miko is a solid 9.7 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up here, we have Gale, and they wanted me to review their Venti. Let's see here. Venti. I don't see many people playing Venti anymore ever since Coswell came out, but you know what? I rate him nonetheless. He's still a great Anemo support. What weapon are you rocking on him? Stringless, very good choice. Stringless honestly really relies on refinements. It's still good without refinements, but like the higher refinement level you get for it, like those are big increases. I believe this 24% goes to like 48% or something. So I would recommend, I don't know, I was about to say roll on the weapon banner, but don't roll on the weapon banner. Just if you get a couple extra stringless bows, I'd recommend refining this, as it can get really good with refinements. Artifacts, 4-piece Viridescent Veneraire, 1 4-star piece, which is okay if it's EM, I understand. Getting EM gold piece is going to be very difficult. However, there is the new Artifact Strong box, so it actually makes it a little bit easier with that, because you can now switch over some of your useless pieces or trash pieces for EM Viridescent pieces if you get lucky. What's your constellation? 0, and talents are 6, 8, 10. Obviously, Venti's normal attack doesn't matter. I'm sure you know this. You don't have to take this any further, but you know what? It is what it is. Also, Venti's E isn't the most important thing in the world. It's really just for particles, but you know what? You crown the important talent, so that's all we care about. Let's see some of these artifacts. So I imagine you're probably running 3-piece EM. I actually didn't check your EM stats, so I'm interested to see here what we're going to be working with. Crit rate. Oh boy, okay. Please be EM. Oh, no. Oh. Oh, okay, well, we got one EM piece in here. Oh, boy. That's at least a good piece. That's a really good piece. That's also a pretty nice piece. But again, these are more nice pieces for, like, I don't know, Zhao or Jean, not a Venti. Venti only needs EM. That's the only stat that matters on Venti, because you're not going to be doing many normal attacks with him, and even if you are, like, this ratio is pretty abysmal. No offense, it's not great. So my tip of advice for you would just be get all 3 pieces EM. You do not need crit rate, and even if you did need crit rate, this piece is abysmal. This is an abysmal 4-star hat. This is actually a good piece. Keep this piece. This is a decent piece. I would keep this for being on set, but you could use this on many different characters, not just Venti. Try to get an EM goblet. I know getting EM goblets is kind of difficult. And then also, of course, an EM hat will help Venti's damage. And then just prioritizing EM substats on both the flower and the feather will just help increase that elemental debuff even further. You already have the right weapon, so you're like sort of on the right track with Venti. It's just fixing some of those artifacts around, and you should be good. But other than your artifacts, your talents are really nice. Your weapon's pretty good, other than the fact it's missing a couple of refinements. So I'm going to give your Venti a solid 7 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. Next up here, we have Kaylee, and they wanted me to review their Zhao. Another AR60 player. Oh my goodness, these are coming way more frequent now. Okay, Zhao, level 90 out of 90. 2k attack. I imagine you probably have either Primordial Jade Winged Spear or Staff of Homa. I'm correct, Staff of Homa. I believe this is technically Zhao's best in slot. I don't remember if it's this or Primordial Jade Winged Spear, but either way, it's a great weapon for Zhao. Artifacts, you're running 2-piece Vermilion, 2-piece Shiwanawa. I assume you're probably working on a 4-piece Vermilion. I know it can be a little hard in that domain because, you know, if you don't get lucky, you just don't get lucky. Constellation 0, and talents are 10, 10, 10. Okay, so far, honestly, a pretty perfect Zhao. Perfect weapon, perfect talents, and then we're just looking at artifacts here. So, obviously, you don't have the most optimal set. Vermilion is the most optimal set out for Zhao at the moment, but you know what? It's okay. A 2-piece doesn't decrease Zhao's damage potential by that much. So let's see some of these pieces here. What are we working with? Whew, that's a good attack sans, man. That is a very, very nice attack sans. Energy recharge, EM, crit rate, crit damage. Very nice. Oh my gosh. 16, that's a 40 crit value goblet. Offset, but still, that's crazy. Oh my gosh, how do people get pieces like this? 28% crit damage, 35 EM. Another crazy Zhao piece. That's pretty good as well. I was going to say that's mid, but no, it's not. It has 11% ER, and ER is actually useful on Zhao. So you know what? This is actually a very nice piece. Damn, man, you got so many good pieces, dude. Oh my goodness. This is basically a perfect piece. Other than maybe if you had this EM and attack went into crit rate, maybe be a little more optimal. But still, you have perfect substats. Honestly, man, there's like no wasted stats. You have a flat attack here, which is not even wasted, to be honest. The flat defense is a wasted stat. And really, that's it. You have one wasted stat in this entire build. Flat attack is like somewhat wasted because it could be attack percent. What's your split? Damn, dude. 84, 224, plus 126 recharge. What's your EM? Almost 100 EM. It's just like the nice little cherry on top. That's a very, very good Zhao. I don't even see how you can improve this. Obviously, maybe just optimizing crit stats, like crit rate rolls were low here. This is only 3 rolls. This is also only 3 rolls. But like, it doesn't matter. Like, your Zhao's still absolutely cracked out of his mind. You really don't even need more crit rate. You basically have enough with 84. Yeah, man. I mean, there's only like a couple little improvements that you can make. Bro, this Zhao has to be a 9.8 out of 10. I'm gonna say that is a very solid Zhao. Let's move on to the next build. Next up here, we have Soy Milk, and they want me to review their Yelan. Let's see here, Yelan, 38k HP. That is a lot of HP for a Yelan. I wonder if you have 2-piece HP percent pieces then. That will be interesting to see. 1,000 attack is a little low, but you probably don't have an attack stance, so that makes sense. Weapon, Favonius Warbow. That is perfectly fine. I believe that is her best slot free-to-play weapon. You're running 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. That is exactly what we like to see. Good choice. Constellation 0, and then talents are 7, 10, 10. Pretty optimal talents for a Yelan. If you're not using her charge attack, which I don't think is optimal for her playstyle, like you can use it if you're, you know, really obsessed with her. But yeah, no, these are pretty perfect. Let's see. Artifacts. This is where it's going to count. That's actually a good piece. You know what? HP percent, flat HP, both actually good stats for Yelan. Again, not a single wasted stat here. I'm not going to lie, these crit rate rolls are pretty low. Same thing with the crit damage rolls, but overall, it's not a bad piece. Oh, how, dude? How do you have piece? How do people get pieces like this? 17% crit rate, 4% HP. Oh my goodness, that is like the perfect Yelan piece. If this flat attack was like a ER, that would be the perfect piece. That's crazy. Oh, oh, bro, another like perfect piece. Crit rate, HP percent, energy recharge, crit damage. Bro, this may be the most insane day of account reviews we've ever had. There's some good builds in this mix today. Oh my gosh, dude. Another great piece. Holy smokes. And then HP percent stance, another crazy piece. Bro, the fact that you have nearly 40k HP and you're not running an HP percent circlet is absolutely crazy to me. You have 40k HP just off substats and 1 HP sands alone. That is absurd. This is a very, very high tier Yelan. The only improvement, honestly, that I could give you is this piece is maybe just the slightest bit mid. It just has a couple low rolls, but other than that, like the stats on it are perfect, basically. Maybe a little more crit rate, crit damage, but honestly, bro, what could you even improve? This piece is essentially perfect. Maybe no flat defense, and then this piece is perfect. Again, no flat defense, and then replace this with like attack percent or ER, and this piece is almost perfect. God damn, man. What's your split? 74, 172, that's really nice. I would say this is the perfect Yelan. If you got this to 80, get this to like 180, 190, and you probably have the perfect Yelan. And then also 40k here. If you had 40k HP, 80, 190, that's like the perfect Yelan. Wow, man, that is very, very impressive. Unfortunately, I can't give you a perfect score because this is level 7, and to get the perfect score, you have to have 10, 10, 10 talents, and also the most optimal artifacts, but this is still a very high tier Yelan. I'm going to say this is a 9.8 out of 10. Let's move on to the next build. All right, next up here, we have Soluda, and they wanted me to review their Kuki Shinobu. Let's see here, Kuki Shinobu. Are we going to be seeing physical DPS Kuki Shinobu, the most optimal version of her? No. Yeah, Freedom Sworn. Okay. Refinement 2 Freedom Swarm? God damn, bro. Whale much on this game? Hey, that's pretty impressive. Honestly, if I were you, I would have just built 2 of them because, honestly, the more the merrier. 1 for Kazuha, 1 for Kuki. Wait, what's your weapon on Kazuha, actually? Bro, you could have had a Freedom Sworn on Kuki and then a Freedom Sworn on Kazuha. I mean, whatever, that's fine. I'm not one to judge. If you want to R2 your weapon, go ahead. The 4-piece Thundering Fury, that means you might be using Hyper Bloom Kuki. You might be doing Aggravate Kuki. Lots of different options there. Constellation 3, that's pretty good. Talents are 1, 13, 8. I see that you crowned her E. I appreciate that, but you know, level 1 normal attack is kind of sad to see. But you know, that may just be my personal bias in the matter because I do believe physical Kuki Shinobu is supreme, and you know, support Kuki will never live up to the potential that physical Kuki can. But you know, again, just my personal bias in the matter. Okay, let's see the artifacts here because I'm kind of interested to see what you're running here because there's a lot of different things that you can do with Kuki. You can do 3-piece EM, which is pretty optimal for different Hyper Bloom teams, but you can also do HP percent. So let's see what we're working with here. Pretty nice feather. Actually, that's a really good feather. Jesus. Flower. Another like almost perfect piece. Oh my goodness, man. If that flat attack was attack percent, that would be almost like perfect. Hat. EM hat, okay. Oh my gosh, that is a nasty EM hat. Oh my goodness, that is the perfect Kuki Shinobu piece. How do people get pieces like this, man? So I assume you're probably running 3 EM then. No, you're running Electro Damage Bonus Cup, but it might as well be an EM Goblet because it has 70 EM on it. Oh my goodness. Bro, you have a nasty Kuki Shinobu. I imagine EM Sands. Yeah, this one is a little suboptimal. This one could definitely be improved. It's 22% crit damage, 10% HP. Not the greatest piece in the world, but it's still not bad for her. Overall, yeah, no, this is a very, very nice Kuki build. These 2 pieces alone, for me, like, these are about as optimal as you can get. Same thing with this circlet. This literally cannot be improved. Other than maybe 1 more roll into crit rate, I can't even chat about any of your pieces, dude. They're all really good. Other than maybe this one. This one could use some crit rate instead of that flat defense. But overall, a very, very solid support Kuki Shinobu. So let's see the split then. You have a perfect 700 EM, 20k HP. So what's your split? 46, 113. To be honest, this is actually really impressive for the fact that you had no crit weapons. You didn't have a crit damage or crit rate hat. And all this alone is just off artifacts. That is crazy. That's actually really good. If this was 50%, this would almost be the perfect support Shinobu. That being said, physical is better, so I honestly don't know what you're doing, but, you know, you do you, man. Overall, you know, it's actually a very good Shinobu, and I could troll you and give you a 1 out of 10 for, you know, not running physical Kuki, but I'll be honest here, it's probably at least a solid 9 out of 10 on the Kuki Shinobu scale. Let's move on to the next build. Alright, this is going to be our last build of the day here, and this one is from Venus, and they wanted me to review their Sino. Let's see here. Level 80 out of 80 Sino. Weapon is Deathmatch. That's a good choice for low spender Sinos. That is a perfectly fine choice. You're running no set bonus. Not one of these pieces line up. Interesting. Okay. Constellation 0. And then 4, 7, 8 on the talents. 8, this could definitely be a little bit higher. I guess we'll see here. Artifacts, what are we working with here? This means that you're completely prioritizing substats. Like, the substats on these would have to be godly if you just completely ditch any set bonus to have them. I'm interested to see what we're working with here. Okay, that's kind of justifiable. That's a good piece. And actually, this would be even better if you had a second Wanderer's Troop, because EM can work for Sino. That is not justifiable at all. An okay piece, but you rolled flat attack 3 times and then once into EM. What is this? Bro, there's no way you didn't have an Wanderer's Hat that also happens to have crit damage. That could have been better than this piece. The flower, it's good, but again, I don't know if that's enough to justify running no set bonus. That's a really nice piece, and to be honest, if you had another piece of Thundering Fury, it would be really nice to support this piece, but this as a standalone piece is really nice. And that's, again, not justifiable enough to have no set bonus, but it's a decent enough piece. What's your split on him then? Your split is 74-10. That's actually a really good split. That is a very, very good split. I think Deathmatch probably carries a lot of that. Without Deathmatch, this goes down to like 30, 40 maybe. You have 136 recharge, which is a little nice touch. But overall, I definitely see a lot of improvements that could be made here in the artifact department. Some good suggestions for set bonuses with Sino is 2-piece Glad, 2-piece Thundering Fury, and 2-piece Wanderers. You already have 1 piece of each. It's just choosing another piece to combine with it to get that nice set bonus, and then you will be set. This attack stance and this crit damage hat are so easily replaced, man. If you even just get another crit damage hat, it doesn't even have to have crit rate. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on was just talents. You do not need to worry about Sino's normal attack. You can leave that at level 4. His E will still prove some use to you. You can take that to as far as you want, but obviously it's just a one-hit bam, and then it's done. And then his burst is obviously the most important thing, which I'm sure you realize. If you want to get that to level 10, you can, but it is up to you. But in terms of rating this on a scale of 1 to 10, it's not as good as some of the earlier builds we've seen today, but definitely still a solid Sino nonetheless. So I'm going to give you a solid 7.5 out of 10. And with that, I think that is going to be the end of unit reviews for today. If you guys enjoyed this video and you want to see more in the future, please consider subscribing or leaving a like down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.